Should we get a cab then?
Yeah, all right. Welcome to Bodelwyddan Castle in North Wales for the second of this year's Scrapheap Challenge roadshows.
Knights of this period would have ridden stallions.
Today we've travelled back in time to the age of chivalry as the castle hosts a festival that recreates the sights, sounds and smells of medieval Britain.
The reason we're using a boat like this...
Thousands of people have travelled here today to relive history amongst a wonderful array of medieval traders and craftsmen, whilst reenactors from across Europe battle it out in the grounds of the castle.
Would you have liked to have been a footman there?
And it's here, amongst this medieval mayhem, that Scrapheap is staging an archery tournament of epic proportions.
For the last 5 weeks, 16 teams from across the land have been designing and building colossal contraptions. All of them capable of launching 4-foot-long arrows.
If we can get it off launch ramp, I'll be quite happy.
For this tricky test of mechanical metal and medieval marksmanship, our teams have spent every waking hour turning piles of old junk into a mind-boggling array of machines.
We hope it sort of goes bang as opposed to exploding.
They've built crossbows, spring cannons, motorised launchers and, well, I'm not entirely sure how you describe some of them.
Toilets are underrated as far as archery is concerned.
And now it's time to separate the Robin Hoods from the Robin Reliance. So you're feeling the pressure is on as a local team? You've got to do well?
No. Look, we're gallant losers, should we say.
We came by train.
Hang on, you brought your entire machine and yourselves by train?
That's correct.
Wow. And are you very confident?
We're going to win.
That's what I like to see.
Come on, Scotland!
Bit of Scottish confidence.
The rules couldn't be simpler. The roadshow's finest archers must twang their bows and fire their impressively large quarrel at a series of fiendishly tough targets until there's only one team remaining. This final team then faces one last Herculean task to win the prize of all prizes, the holy grail of bodging brilliance, the Scrapheap Golden Arrow. To return to the Shires with this magnificent trophy, they must beat the Scrappy All-Stars. It's not really gold, is it?
Nah.
I didn't think so.
But who are the All-Stars? They're a dream team featuring 3 of the greatest contestants of all time. And in each of their previous lineups, they've been humiliated. They took a spill in Sofa Speedway.
It's not looking good for the All-Stars.
Were pureed in tomato chuckers. Given the boot in welly wanging. And most recently ran out of puff in juice-free dragsters.
So to restore some much-needed pride, we've called in the big guns. 3 Scrapheap veterans who know a thing or two about lobbing stuff. Team leader, and adding some well-needed glamour, is a true Scrapheap legend, whose beard and brawn has been a fixture since the very first series.
Ah!
Oh yeah! It's Bowser.
Team member 2 may be blonde, but she's also the brains of the operation.
Come on, you guys, move your butts.
A ballistics expert, she has appeared in no less than 3 different teams, regularly beating the boys. She's Nikki Woolmore.
And completing the dream team is an artisan of the archaic.
If you didn't have a beard, I'd snog you.
Who's built some of Scrapheap's most ingenious flingers. He's Todd Toddashini.
Yesterday, we set these valiant warriors a quest of epic proportions.
All-Stars, it's time that you earned your spurs. In this challenge, you must defeat the finest archers in the land in a tournament of gigantic proportions. Are you game?
Yes! You have just 10 hours to construct your massive mechanical missile machines.
Once more onto the heap, dear friends. Once more.
Wait for it.
Go!
We'll be back to see how they get on later. At the medieval fair, it's time to meet the man who'll be casting his expert eye over today's proceedings. Our judge today is an old friend of the show. A world-renowned expert on the science and history of the bow, he gets to design and build weapons for Hollywood blockbusters, like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So he won't have any trouble spotting whose aim is true and who's headed way off target. He's Master Archer Stephen Ralphs.
When I first saw the machines this morning, the first one I saw had what was recognisably a bow with string, but then I saw one that had recognisably a toilet cistern, and I went, this is going to be quite bizarre.
Yes, it's a British eccentricity at its best, isn't it, really? There's some Scots sleds with some sort of water pad system, there's bicycles, spinning wheels, there's standard crossbows, it's fantastic, it's great.
Now, I mean, the one thing they've all got in common is this is their arrow, which is terrifyingly big. I mean, it's just a broom handle with a nasty spike on the front and a bit of
Well, yes, if you compare it to the standard archery arrow.
That's an arrow you'd fire from an ordinary bow.
Yes.
My approach would be just build an enormous bow.
But then you see it's bigger, better, and it's not. There's a couple of machines there that they're so minuscule, and you think, how can this size
something
compete?
that big? Yeah.
I think we'll be surprised.
Right.
I do think we'll be surprised.
I think we should let those quarrels fly.
Under the watchful eye of our expectant crowd, each team must launch 5 giant arrows at our scoring targets. The 8 teams with the highest scores will go through to the next round.
Start on the sound of the horn. As the first salvos of broom handles begin to rain down on our targets, it's clear that every possible type of arrow-flinging contraption has been constructed by our teams.
Look at that.
With understandably mixed results.
I don't think this is the most accurate round we've ever had.
Crossbows in all shapes and sizes are firing it out.
It's not only hit the target, it's almost gone through it.
Against an array of springs, wheels and water rockets.
That's the big one.
The big daddy. Loose!
Hooray! That's definitely the most dramatic arrow so far. I'm loving it.
Alarmingly coming towards us.
What's coming slightly this way?
But only 8 teams will win through to the next round. The qualifying round has pitted teams from the 4 corners of Britain against one another. For Scotland!
Scotland.
And they've been merrily bombarding our targets using all manner of archaic apparatus.
OK, teams, thank you very much. Well done.
And now that the final giant arrow has been flung, only 8 teams remain in the competition to see who'll take on the Scrappy All-Stars in the grand final.
They are the Paintball Terriers, the Steel Peddlers, the Data Detectives, the Robot Warriors, the Ballistics, the Mersey Mechanics, the It Men, and the 3 Circuiteers.
Our team's next challenge is much tougher. They must take part in our royal hunt. They have just 7 giant arrows to bag themselves a stag and a boar before they can take aim and pile up the points on our bullseye target. The 2 teams with the highest scores will go through to the next round.
Now, Steve, round 2 already we can see very, very different challenge for all the teams, really.
There's 2 balloons, so we've got movement left to right now. So as before, they had to adjust for their trajectory, up or down. Now they're doing up, down, and left and right. This could probably favour the more robust machines. So the lighter machines maybe won't have the advantage here.
Right. Now, is there any sort of particular machines that really caught your eye? I mean, certainly some of them have caught mine.
Without a doubt. I mean, the IT team, I just love the look of the machine, you know, with the bicycle tyres, and it does work. You don't expect it to work, and it works.
There was definitely when I expected to see an arrow fall out of the front of it and drop. No, it went really well.
The first 2 went over the target. Did fantastic design.
They've definitely got the range, haven't they?
Our judges' favourites are an unlikely set of warriors. Tucked away in Hull, immersed in the world of computers, Mike, Ian and Mark are the It Men. And their weapon of choice for this contract is really interesting.
The whole device is powered by a lawnmower engine, drives the wheels so that they're contra-rotating, which allows an arrow to be pulled through and race along the channel. It's shot out the front and travels about 150 metres.
But will it launch a broom handle with deadly accuracy?
I'm not sure. No, I am sure. It will work, definitely.
Bicycle weapons always have at least 1 weak link.
I'm very nervous about the chains on this, very nervous indeed.
Sadly, it's their engine that lets them down. Luckily, before the big day, they found a more reliable power source. Ian on a bicycle.
It Men. So you're through to the next round. Now, it's a really interesting machine. It doesn't really look like any of the others. What do you think the hardest thing was in the first round to get right?
Judging distance and speed.
Distance.
One human power is quite a difficult thing to judge distance. Hopefully, we were only about half speed last time, so this time we're hoping to get a fair lick out of it.
And you're pedalling again?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
we bank on 1 Ian power.
1 Ian power, exactly.
While the It Men rely on 1 Ian power, our next team follow the motto 1 for all and all for one. Reg, Robert and David are the 3 circuiteers. These warriors have ransacked their circuit board factory for their dueling machine.
So it's got 2 motor-driven rubber-tired wheels. The actual broom handle will come up through here and push down to the front.
The results are frightening.
The motor speeds are 2,700 RPM. If they reached full speed, they would leave here at 90 kilometres an hour.
90 kilometres an hour, that's fantastic, but there's some bad news.
We haven't been able to check on accuracy.
No need to worry about that, unless you live next door. IT Men, 3 circuiteers. This is your chance to get through to the semi-final. Go on the sound of the horn. The competition proper is underway.
This is incredible. I love this machine.
Amazing machine.
I love it.
But it does work beautifully, you know, it's amazing.
How do the circuiteers match up?
Yes! Have some of that.
It's first blood to the circuiteers. That's 2 in 2. Now they can concentrate on the high-scoring target.
The accuracy of that beauty is frightening.
But the It Men are still without a strike.
Up to 30, stepping on the frame.
Is the head on the IT bike, is that their sight?
I think that must be it.
Secret weapon.
Go! Go!
Yes!
Take that!
Good shot, the IT team.
They need more strikes, though, and they're running out of arrows.
OK, get ready. This time.
Come on, Ian, say when. Go. Go.
Oh!
Oh, they've had a misfire.
Misfire.
Came out the side.
Stop, dropped.
It's a disaster for the It Men. And to rub salt in their wounds, the circuiteers are hitting targets for fun. They're piling on the points. It's the It Men's final arrow.
Really feeling for the chap in chainmail who's having to do the cycling. Must be exhausted.
Go.
Yes!
Yes!
Their pride is restored, but it's all in vain. They were no match for the circuiteers' super sharp shooter. What fantastic teams! Give them a big round of applause.
Unbelievable. I hope the All-Stars are watching and getting very worried.
At the end of the first heat, the 3 circuiteers have scored an amazing 17 points, while the It Men have just 2 points.
With round 2 well underway, let's find out what kind of machine one of our teams will be facing in this afternoon's final.
What are we going to do? Big bow and arrows? Mangonel?
Yesterday, we set our All-Stars the challenge of building a feudal flinger in just 10 hours.
Well, you could put a great big weight on the arrow and use a trebuchet, actually, that'd be right. but bad on accuracy.
Yeah.
What about something like Roman ballista? You know, the old one where
Yeah, ballistas are good.
you've got the bits of rope and the arrow and the arm sticking the bits of rope.
Shall I do a slightly more enlightened drawing for you? I did go to art school. So if we start with a frame and you've got your twisted columns of rope.
I can see you went to art college.
I did go to art college, yeah. I know exactly the right shade of red to put with green as well. Now, as a last thought, because I've just had one, a few months back I saw an old line engraving.
All right.
And it's very similar to a ballista, but I haven't quite got my head around the details of how it works.
Back at the build, we're at the planning stage. Bowser, Todd and Nicky have decided on a unique crossbow design known as a springgold. But Todd has only ever seen one in a medieval brass rubbing. So basically they're making it up as they go along.
But it was kind of, for want of a better term, an inside-out ballista. What you would expect to see with a ballista is the cords of rope here and the arms there, yeah? But the longer we can accelerate the projectile for, the better we are.
Yeah.
Now, the thing I saw had the cords of rope here.
Yeah.
And the start position, these were pulled all the way around, so the bow arms were here. And in that instance, you're getting 160 degrees of travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means a hell of a lot more power.
I like that.
A ballista is a giant crossbow that has firing arms placed inside coils of rope. As the arms are pulled back, the rope is twisted to become the powerful spring that will shoot the arrow. The All-Stars' harebrained idea is to turn the arms the other way round. This will allow them to pull the arms back much further, which will propel the arrow for longer, giving it more power. But pulling back those arms is going to be a mighty challenge.
What do we need to build it with?
Steel.
Rope.
I don't know much about rope.
What matters is how long it is, because you can't put knots in it. Some wheels.
Brilliant, let's go then.
Let's get on with it, come on. Hang on, Nicky.
You got something?
This stuff do.
Whilst Todd scales up his design, Bowser and Nicky begin combing the heap for steel to build their ballista frame.
Well, it's only heavy for you.
I know. You're just showing off.
Bowser doesn't do small. It looks like he's intending to build the fourth bridge.
I think you got most of the scrapyard here.
We might have another present for you if you're lucky.
As long as it's pink and fluffy, I'll have it.
It's a surprise.
They're racing through the scavenge.
Could you have got something cleaner?
This looks like an all-star team that could actually win a roadshow.
You wanted wheels?
You park that like my granny.
I drive like her too. Right.
Bowser, Nicky, welcome back to the heap. It's lovely to have you back.
Thank you very much.
Now, chucking things. I'm thinking about previous Scrapheap outings. Of course, you had the sheep throwing.
Yes. OK, we smashed the window and it didn't go very far.
Oh, they've lost the windscreen.
But Bowser, I seem to remember your giant archery on Scrappy races was somewhat more successful.
We won that one, that was yes. However, the previous one with rugby balls wasn't quite so clever. It failed miserably.
Bottom one's gone.
Snapped, isn't it?
To be honest, Todd's had a few failures in the past as well. Now, you probably know that none of our All-Stars have actually won a Scrapheap Roadshow.
Well, it's the first time for everything.
There is a first time for everything. Do you think this time you can break the mould and do it?
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
Oh, I'd love it.
If this works, it would be pretty lethal. It'd be
I
really good.
don't think any of us suffer from underconfidence.
Back at the medieval festival, it's time for a chat with two men who make the art of shooting an arrow look easy. Steve and Mark are world champion longbowmen.
Morning, gentlemen. God, look at that. This is the proper stuff, because, I mean, we've got all these teams making these weird machines, but I think these are beautiful.
Basically, this is the longbow of old, really.
Right.
It's designed for one purpose, and that's to kill people.
Yes.
I mean,
it's a weapon of war,
it is,
isn't it?
yeah. Do you want to try that one?
Go. I'll have a quick go.
But well, if you draw it, don't let go of the...
No, I won't. That is genuinely...
Yeah,
quite tough.
You're pulling them right back like that?
Yeah. You've heard of the saying, put your back into it.
Yeah.
Well, that's where it comes from.
Right.
If you can manage to pull the bow up to where your nose is, at that point, you stop pulling and you just rotate your shoulder and use all your back muscles in your shoulder.
So you're pulling back that last
you're
bit.
transferring all the weight onto your back, and your back's much stronger than your arms will ever be. So.
And then but the people who were bowmen trained, from pretty early age, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they start from 6 or 7, but when they had to practice by law, it was from 14 to 65 every Sunday.
Wow.
So, I mean,
The only person who was exempt was the clergyman, but he had to be there in case he killed somebody.
Right.
I don't think we'd get away with it.
No, there may be some health and safety issues nowadays.
Although we are in Wales, and tomorrow it's legal for me to kill one before 12 o'clock.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I should be heading off.
With that bit of worrying news, we better get on with the competition. Next on the firing field are a team from Carlisle, who will certainly remain calm in the heat of battle. These guys are at their happiest when they're under fire. Stuart, James and Paul are the paintball terriers, and they plan to swap paint pellets for giant arrows by supersizing their airgun technology.
Lift you off your feet.
That should work, man. I've got 100% worth of thing. Yeah, I'm definitely working on it.
So did Welsh, you were.
Their idea is to compress enough air to fire their arrow using a giant syringe, but it's less medical and more mental.
Basic principle of just hitting it as hard and as fast as we can without smashing the machine to bits in the process.
Yeah, ready, steady.
Let's go.
Fantastic.
So, paintball terriers, you made it through to the next round, which you've got to be pleased about. Do you think this is going to suit your machine better, or is it going to be harder?
It should do now, yeah.
Because we've got more accuracy with this type of machine. Obviously, yeah, I think it should be quite easy.
Famous last words. Best of luck. I really hope you get through.
Thank you. Okay, cheers. Thank you.
Firing with them are a team of knights from Sheffield who are used to riding more modern steeds. The steel peddlers are true knights of the off-road. They are Chris, Andrew and David. And they're mixing this modern technology with a bit of medieval for their crossbow design.
I found the best wood for making bow is hickory wood. It takes some pulling back on the bike.
To pull back their not particularly flexible bow, they're putting their faith in pedal power.
We've got Andrew on the day. This will be Andrew's position. Pedal it back. When we get back to the set point, probably let Andrew get off the bike at that point and retreat to a safe distance.
I'll be wearing full body armour on the day.
Well, at least he'll look the part on his charger.
Start firing on the sound of the horn.
Go. Perfect opening for the paintball terriers. They couldn't have asked for more.
The paintballers already have the second balloon in their sights.
On three, yeah.
Once they've burst it, they're on to the high-scoring target.
That's beautiful aiming. I mean, they're aiming that perfectly, aren't they?
Oh, no! The peddlers are having a torrid time. They've got the range, but not the accuracy.
Fire! Oh, don't believe it! Oh.
One under, one over.
They've got to pull one out of the bag.
Fire! Don't believe it!
Oh, and they missed. They've missed again.
Come on, guys, let's get one in. Let's pop that balloon.
Their final arrow bags them a stag, but it's far too late to outscore the paintball terriers.
Wow!
They're shooting themselves into second place on our leaderboard.
That's it, teams. Thank you very much. Paintball terriers and steel peddlers. Give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
It's a disappointing 1 point for the steel peddlers and 8 points for the paintball terriers. Remember, it's the top 2 teams who will fight it out for a chance to take on the Scrappy All-Stars, who are already here to stir up a bit of support.
Now, you've eyed up the competition.
Yeah.
Are there any teams you're particularly worried about?
I think in the first round we were looking at the Circuiteers. That was good aiming, really fast, powerful. They're strong competition, definitely.
Anybody else?
Also data detectives with the sort of the shelving unit crossbow. Superb.
Lightweight and looks like it's going to fall apart, but it's just not.
Boy, that worked.
The arrows flew out of there. Do you think you'll be all right against them?
Definitely.
I think we're really confident.
I mean, we've got enough to do it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All-Stars with confidence in their machine, yes!
The crowds are gathering to sample the atmosphere of medieval life and watch our battle of the barbed broom handle. You join us halfway through the second round, after which we'll be left with 2 teams shooting it out for a chance to take on the Scrappy All-Stars. Next on the firing line is a small but serious challenger from Sussex. Environmental campaigner John and his sons JJ and Zaki are the ballistics. To keep down his carbon footprint, Father John has designed a crossbow using recycled super springy skis.
This is about getting something that we know has the ability to shoot the arrow far enough. After that, we work on getting it more accurate. I didn't hear any breaking glass, so let's hope.
They've upped their green credentials for transportation. It's a flat pack flinger.
We're going by train, which is going to be really, really annoying.
We're going to take it all apart. We've designed it with bolts that have these handy little wing nuts on them. I feel confident with strong, capable pack children that we'll make it.
Ballistics, it's lovely to see you in this round with your flat pack crossbow. Are you happy that your accuracy is going to be good enough for this round?
We find it goes very straight, but the question of elevation can be a bit tricky. So we've done our little calculations and we're hoping we've got it right, but we'll see in a few minutes.
Fine-tuning their spring thing for the upcoming round are Richie and Emma, the Mersey mechanics. Joined by fellow mechanic Andy for the build, these Scouse shooters have done something no other team has ever managed before. They've built a spring launch shooter that looks exactly like their drawing.
Should we, shouldn't we? Yeah, we are going to win. We've already won, haven't we?
The proof is in the pudding.
Let's just fire it.
I'll tell you, don't hit my box.
We'll have to be that safer.
Both teams must beat a score of 8 to get in the top 2 placings. They need to hit both balloons first and then get at least 2 good scores on the targets.
Go for gold on the sound of the horn.
Good one, JJ. Well done.
A perfect start for the ballistics. Their design might be lightweight, but it's really accurate.
Oh, yes. Lovely shot.
Amazing. The youngsters are already onto the high-score target.
Ready, fire. Oh,
for the Mersey mechanics, aiming is more hit and miss.
100%.
Well, the spring thing, as we know, is very hard to aim.
Fire.
Oh, what a shame.
Fire.
Yeah! He looks really pleased with that.
She lives.
But with only 2 arrows remaining, it's all too late for the mechanics.
Oh, that side did awfully. Turn it this way.
Very serious aim calibration going on here, look.
Yeah. The ballistics can take second place with 3 more points.
Good?
Yeah, it was good. It was good, right?
One more.
That's 2 points. They need a hit with their final arrow. The crowd are on the edge of their hay bales.
Okay, JJ, do it. Do it. Hey, best shot of the day.
A fine bit of marksmanship by the ballistics.
Well done, everybody.
That shot them into second place with only 1 heat remaining.
But for now, it's time to check on the All-Stars, who yesterday had just 10 hours to build their very own sharpshooter. When we last saw them, they'd scavenged rope and a mountain of metal.
Yep, that's warm.
It's very hot, just like you, Bowser.
It's all part of their plan to build an inside-out ballista, a giant crossbow that uses twisted coils of rope as primitive springs.
The sands of time are slipping away, and you only have some sand left. Otherwise known as 5 hours.
All right, well,
moving, yeah.
let's shift it.
It's quite impressive, really, because it goes from nothing to something in a very short space of time.
But the something's not actually currently very impressive.
Ow!
We're about halfway through the day, and it looks as though the All-Stars have built a box. I think I better find out what's going on. All-Stars. Well, it doesn't look like a whole lot, seeing as we're nearly halfway through.
It's a lot of thought.
There's a lot of welding behind the box.
OK, explain to me the construction that's going to go on it.
Going between this top and bottom rail is going to be a big wrap of rope. We put the arm into that rope and we twist it up. And so, you know, like when you twist a string, it gets tighter and tighter.
Yeah. So where exactly is the projectile going to sit on top of here?
It's going to sit somewhere.
That'll be our barrel.
Yeah.
And this will actually sit inside the barrel.
We are, halfway through the build, and there's still quite a lot to do, isn't there?
Not really, because most of it's been sort of collecting and cutting. Most of it's all cut now.
I think they've been very optimistic. I think there is quite a lot to do.
And you know how quickly that time goes. Well done, All-Stars. See you later on.
Thank you.
See you
later.
Todd's right to be concerned. The All-Stars still need to address the key component of their design, the twisted rope springs.
And you can basically get 3 guys on the end of a 6-foot bar and you can pull it to your heart's content and you think there is no way you can get any more power in that thing.
Not even with Bowser.
Not even with Bowser.
The power of a ballista is dependent on how much twist can be put in the rope. In medieval times, this would have been done with a hand crank and elbow grease. It's a slow process and a tough job. But Todd has a modern solution.
We need, at the top here, a crank system for tensioning it up. Now, if we bring these ropes up here and we slip a hydraulic ram at that point there to our lovely hydraulic pump unit.
Todd plans to swap Bowser's bulging muscles with a pair of hydraulic pistons placed between the rope and the catapult frame. When the ballista is in the firing position, they will engage the hydraulics, and the pistons will stretch the rope, tightening the twist below the bar and increasing the power of the bow. They can then repeat fire to their heart's content without breaking a sweat. But Scrapheap hydraulics have a checkered past.
Undeterred, the All-Stars are quick to rip the innards out of a pair of forklifts.
Todd, I've got hydraulics. I don't know how you do with the piston.
Oh, we got the hoses.
I've got the hoses.
Excellent.
I've come bearing gifts.
Oh, brilliant.
They're pretty good.
Confidence is high, but which team will their inside-out ballista have to beat?
Back at the medieval fair, the competition has reached the final heat of the second round, and our 2 remaining teams must beat the ballistics' impressive score of 11 to secure a place in the final.
Our men of the cloth are not usually in the habit of launching projectiles. These holy hurlers are actually computer forensic experts. Richard, Nick, and Captain Vince are the data detectives.
If we hadn't made him captain, he would have just argued with the captain, so we might as well make him the captain.
Their original plan was to build a giant spud gun, but it was a bum steer.
Right, so if I'm acting like a spring,
It doesn't really.
it doesn't really.
It was back to the drawing board for the detectives.
We need something that's going to give energy into it. I'm kind of thinking of a spring. Springs I know quite well, motorcycle fork springs.
Fortunately, as cyber sleuths, they're used to a bit of problem solving. Their last-minute solution is a spring-loaded catapult made from an old shelving unit.
Data detectives, you did brilliantly in the first round. Are you happy with your first round performance?
Fantastic.
Yep.
Be even better this round, obviously.
And it's easy to redirect and re-aim and so on?
and fairly light to move up and down elevations, not a problem.
Up against our mild-mannered monks are a far more warlike team. Alan, Mike and David are the robot warriors. A futuristic fighting family from Leicester.
We're a bunch of roboteers who spend most of our time fighting robots, then trying to smash each other to pieces.
Well, I suppose it's one way to resolve family disputes. And it's their robots that have inspired their design.
The machine's called Nightmare, which is after one of our robots.
It works by feeding the broom handle in the back. These 2 wheels spin fast and launch it out the front.
Sounds impressive. This could be the Terminator of the competition. With 2 excellent-looking machines, we're hoping for a really close encounter.
Go on the sound of the horn. Fire!
We've had balloon release, but not puncture.
Fire!
Oh no, it's a disastrous start for the robot warriors.
Wow.
Straight through the middle.
First arrow, first balloon. Beautifully done.
Ready? Okay, fire.
Data detectives are bang on target.
You ready?
The robot warriors have found their sights. With all the balloons popped, it's down to a shootout on the high-scoring targets.
Wow, look at that!
In the goal.
In the goal.
Shot.
Fire!
The robot warriors have got to be pleased with that.
But they're down to their last arrow. They need another bullseye to take second place.
Right, I'm ready when you are.
Fire!
That was so close. A valiant effort.
Back on yours a bit, Richard.
The pressure is really on the data detectives now. They need 5 points from 2 arrows.
Okay, balanced is good.
Maybe dressing in the monk's habit with the idea that you have God on your side.
Well, it could be.
Divine intervention. They're saying a prayer. Oh,
yes!
Yes, that's the red. So now they're equal. Now it's equal pegging.
The monks just need to hit anywhere on the target.
Yes! Very good.
That last divine dart brings a hotly competed round 2 to an end. And in the battle to see who'll take on the All-Stars, it's the data detectives who join the 3 circuiteers in the final.
Our all-comers have, of course, had several weeks to perfect their medieval missile launchers. But what about the All-Stars, who've only had 10 hours on a scrap heap?
The All-Stars are building a medieval giant ballista that uses twisted coils of rope as primitive springs. But they've brought it bang up to date with hydraulic pistons to tension the rope.
With the electric sticky.
And this modern twist on a medieval design has given them another advantage.
If we can find a pressure gauge, what we can do is pump it up until the pressure gauge says 15 bar. And we can keep going every time we shoot back to the 15 bar point, and we know that we've got exactly the same power out of it.
Using rope as a spring is not an exact science. Each twist will give you different amounts of spring, so judging the range of the ballista is a very hit-and-miss affair. By adding a pressure gauge, the All-Stars will be able to monitor the hydraulic pistons and calculate exactly how much power there is in the rope. They can then accurately tension their rope for each target. It's an ingenious idea, but it's adding to their workload.
Do you reckon stick it straight above it like that?
Well, it's Scrappy. Nothing's ever seen a right angle.
All-Stars, you have 3 hours remaining.
Loads of time.
It's not a lot.
Oh, I'm the eternal optimist, me.
So, yeah, pretty much there.
Nice. If that's in the wrong place, tough.
I think we've got hydraulics.
Brilliant.
That's good. Now is rope time, isn't it?
Just got to wait for this to cool, really.
Yeah. Ooh. Not wrong.
Oh, stress.
We're just one round away from finding out which team will face the All-Stars in the final, and the nerves are beginning to show.
To take on the All-Stars, our valiant all-comers must first defeat the Scrapheap mercenary army.
Both teams face 3 men-at-arms at 30, 35 and 40 metres. The further away they are, the more points they're worth.
And must hit each target before the next one is revealed. The highest scoring team wins.
A totally different round this time.
For a start, much greater range. They've got to fire a lot further, haven't they?
But they haven't got to. If they hit the target that's closest to them, they can stay on that.
Right.
But if they want to score more points, then they can go for the greater range.
Right.
So it's the operative's choice.
Well, I mean, which one do you think could fire most accurately the furthest?
Although the circuiteers may have further range because they've got greater power, it's not accurate at greater range. Right. If the data detectives take a bit of a gamble and go for the further target, I think they could win this.
Right.
They could win this.
Data detectives, 3 circuiteers. The winner of this round goes on to face the All-Stars.
The first targets are up.
Oh, very close, very close. Wow! First shot hit the target.
The second target is now up.
Bring it down.
And the circuiteers are going for it.
Yep, fire.
That's a cracking start. It's really put the pressure on the monks.
Yes! Yes! Wow, what a shot. Look at that.
Right in the middle.
What do we want to do?
Because now they have to make the decision, do they go for the furthest target?
Go for the furthest target.
Fire.
They're going for it. But they just haven't got the accuracy.
I didn't see that. Did I just miss?
Didn't just miss, it missed. Big time.
Missed, oh,
yes.
Right.
The circuiteers have gone back to the near target. They're scoring, but scoring low. But the monks are persevering with the long shot.
Clear.
Yes! And it's paying off.
When they hit it, they hit it hard, don't they? And perfectly spot on.
Oh, they got a bull, look. Tough act to follow now, boys.
Both teams are tied on 30 points. The circuiteers have got to score high. They have to risk a long shot.
Yep. Fire.
That miss short-circuited their chances.
Keep going, keep going.
A score will give the monks victory.
This is God be with you time on the 8.
Keep going, keep going.
Okay, deep breath. 3, 2, 1, fire.
Yes! What a divine shot by the data detectives. They've won the right to take on the mighty Scrappy All-Stars in real style. Will the grand final be as close as that? Well, our All-Stars don't have a great record when it comes to hurling inanimate objects. Let's hope it's third time lucky.
Yeah, no problem.
The crowd aren't confident, and just 24 hours ago, nor were we. The All-Stars are getting themselves in a tangle.
They're building a giant ballista with twisted coils of rope as primitive springs, which they brought bang up to date with hydraulic pistons to tension the rope.
That feels really good.
Right.
Hello.
Oh, it's all done now, just like that.
Well, yeah, sort of. Now, that's where we want it. We want that much tension on it when the jack's in that position.
Once you've twisted it that much, there's not that much pawing in it now, is there?
No, but
once you jack that up, it will...
Sexy piston.
It will increase the pressure on it.
Yeah. Should we do the other one?
Yep.
So you've got both arms in now. I mean, what is the next step then, Todd?
Well, basically, we've got to get the chain on, the string, to the right length. And then
that's the chain that will actually fire the arrow up the channel
Yes.
once that's in. Right.
Yes. And then once the trigger's in, that tells you where the barrel needs to go.
Right. So then you put the barrel into that position.
Right, come on, let's get on with it.
Get on with it.
We'll stay here all night.
I'll see you later on, guys.
So it's actually a bit high, that one.
I do the out-time tricks, you always do it. Oh, don't be like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is very good.
All-Stars, you will have no quarrelling. You have just 1 hour remaining.
We'll be ready, trust us.
It's getting close.
Is it straight?
Right.
Track it.
Go for it.
Barring any disasters, it's really taking shape. Could this be the time that the All-Stars finally win a roadshow? It's almost the moment of truth. The crowds are gathered, and we're seconds away from unveiling the All-Stars machine.
Congratulations for getting this far. You have won the rights to meet the All-Stars, so well done.
We just want to know what's underneath there.
It's big, it's built out of steel, so it's powerful.
I can see some gas
timber
over there.
contraption against the steel behemoth.
I think that's about the size of it. However, the All-Stars have a very consistent record.
They do.
In that they've lost every single one. Does that make you feel confident?
No, well, we don't want to be the first people to lose to them. That'd be really,
we do
really
not
sad.
want to break this record of theirs.
To avoid defeat, they will have to work for their points. They must first hit 2 men-at-arms. Only then can they pile on the points by peppering the dastardly Dark Knight in his castle.
All-Stars, you've seen who your opposition is. Do you still think that your machine can beat them?
Yes.
Definitely.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. So go on, get round and rip it off so we can have a look at it.
Let's do it.
Here it comes. Wow.
Right,
look at the size of that.
We don't build anything small. Are you ready to light up?
Light up? Light up. Oh. Never expect half measures with the All-Stars. That looks pretty impressive. Maybe this time you can do it.
Cheers, Lee.
What's peculiar is they're effectively a very similar type of machine, aren't they?
Yeah, one works as a mechanical spring and the other one's working on the old twisted rope.
So is there anything in the All-Stars design that might be a problem? I mean, they've fired it once or twice, you know, they've
Well, exactly,
got a couple
it's
of tests.
untested, and I just think that the data detectives have been practicing all day.
Yeah.
I think I'd put 50 of your pounds on the data detectives.
That's very generous of you. OK, this is it, the grand final.
I'm feeling all nervous.
Go on the sound of the horn.
Good luck, guys. Getting ready to fire. Fire. Oh!
That'll do.
It's first blood to the data detectives. The All-Stars have their work cut out.
Should we put a little bit more oomph into it?
OK. Getting ready to fire.
Yes!
That went straight through the target. The All-Stars have found their range.
Doing fine. They've only hit the first one.
Oh, that was just short for the monks.
A bit more, guys.
Let's go for that.
Another strike for the All-Stars. The high-scoring Dark Knight has been revealed.
Oh, he looks evil. He needs a couple of arrows through him, I think.
Let Nikki do it, and then we'll all judge once she says yes. Like that.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yes.
This is so close. I can't believe it. Both teams have got arrows in both targets, and they're both going for the Dark Knight.
Right, now we're going to have to drop her right down for this one.
It's fine, really quite straight. It's beautiful.
OK, shall we call it done? Bowser.
Go on, then.
Ready?
Go for it.
Oh!
It was that far away from the Dark Knight.
This could go down to the very last arrow. We're looking at two fantastically good teams.
Are we clear?
Clear.
Yes!
That was beautiful.
I think the Cockney terminology is right in a planet.
Right in a bush. He's a very unhappy Dark Knight.
Well, he's dead.
Firing! The All-Stars have got their sights in. There's only 5 points in it.
No pressure. It's all right. We've got as many arrows as them left. Oh.
Firing!
Yes!
I daren't let myself hope that this could possibly be the roadshow the All-Stars win.
Last 2 arrows, and we've got to get in. That looks good.
Oh. Each team has 1 arrow left. If the data detectives hit and the All-Stars miss, the data detectives win, and vice versa.
3, 2, 1.
What a shot! The monks are ahead by 5 points. This is it. It all comes down to the All-Stars' final arrow. If they hit the Dark Knight, they'll win.
We all ready?
Yeah, on you.
Go on.
Firing!
Fire!
Firing!
Yes! It's in! Yes! The All-Stars have hit the night with their final arrow. What an unbelievable final!
That is good. Well done. What a good team.
It's been a wonderful day with an array of amazing machines. And a grand final that will live in the memory. Yes!
Teams, that has got to be the best roadshow final we have ever had.
But the winners by 1 arrow are, to the amazement of all of us, the All-Stars!
Guys, commiserations. Well done.
Yes!
Well, don't forget to join us next time for more Scrapheap Mania. But for now, it's goodbye from here at Bodelwyddan Medieval Fair. Goodbye.
Next week, we're getting all misty-eyed with nostalgia as we celebrate an unbelievable 10 years of crazy contraptions and bodging brilliance.
Absolutely vandalised itself!